Hi, babies! So, finally, I'm gonna have my mom in the video. Because God knows I've been trying to get her in the video for, what, I think the coming out video part 1 came out, I think around December. Yeah, December, because that's when I had my black nails for my birthday. So, it's been almost a year. It's been 9 months. So, yeah. So, I didn't really know how to do the coming out video part 2. I said I wanted her in it because I thought it would have been better. Because to have a parent's perspective, which I think will be good since a lot of people want to know, you got my story. Now it's like you kind of get to hear her side of it. Well, but instead I tell you to ask questions, which I think will help better. And this lighting is... But alright then. There's 400 questions. I'm not going to answer them all. Well, she's not going to answer them all. But I'm going to pick a few that I think are good. Just some random ones. So yeah, but this is my mommy.
Hi.
Yeah.
My first time in a video with him.
Yeah, it is her first time. So she's like, what should I say? What should I do? So, all right then. Let's see some questions. All right, I think this is a good one. Someone asks her, how should other parents deal with their children being gay? And now you answer.
Okay. Not all the parents are the same.
Sure.
Like everybody knows. I think no matter what, you should always have your son or your daughter's back. No matter.
But not a lot of parents are like that.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter. It's your baby. You had it for 9 months in your stomach. And I think that a parent always should love their kid no matter what.
And not a lot of parents are like that.
It's parents that got drug addicts, kids that like to steal. And a mother, a love as a mother. It doesn't matter.
That's so
I
true.
love Jose. I call him Bebo. That's
Bebo.
his nickname.
You can say Bebo.
Since he was a little baby. And I will always love him no matter what.
Yeah, but not a lot of parents are like that. That's the sad part. There's parents that... You remember that boy I dated that I think his mom found out he was gay because of me when we used to live in Burnside? And remember...
Yeah,
they called at like 4 a.m. in the morning. And they
making a big deal out of it, knowing that they knew since the beginning.
And it was my fault.
Gay.
It was my fault that I was the one that was messing with his mind. And I'm like, he's gay. Get over it.
And I told her, it's going to be hard. But as a parent, you got to deal with it. That's life. She
didn't want me seeing their son, whatever. So I was like, all right, bye. But there's a lot of parents that they stop loving their kid. But then I find it so stupid because then you got kids that they rape people and the parent still has their back.
And hide all that stuff. That's bad.
Remember when we had to go to court because the whole molestation charge and everything with this guy? And remember it was me, you, Lucinda, and
Mama.
Well, remember Mama was in the hospital. And remember it was just like mainly us three. And then Chris had everyone over there. He had like 10 people, 20 people. And they know what he was doing. Because he even did it to Joaquin.
Yes,
and
to the other boy.
I found him the other day?
No, yeah.
And when I went to Philly. And I just wanted to be like... Because when he did that to me, he did it to my other cousin.
Not a lot of parents do what I did. As soon as he told me that... We went to here in New York. As soon as he told me that here in New York... I went straight to the prison. They told me they was going to go and arrest the guy. And I was like, no, it didn't happen here. It happened in Philly.
And then we had to...
So they told me to go to Philly and press charges. And that's exactly what I did. A lot of parents try to keep it, in the down low. They don't want people to know. No. You're not supposed to do that. Yeah.
Like a lot of people...
They don't know... A lot of people... Yeah.
I don't know.
A lot of people just be scared what people going to say... No. Fuck that shit. That's your freaking son. That's your blood.
Yeah.
Okay?
Like Joaquin, and when he did it to me and him, his mom, they fled. Remember, they left Philly.
I tried to call her. She left.
She changed her number, everything. And it just bothered me because that was like my only person that it was like we knew what he did to us, but he fled. Like he left. And it was fucked up. But
yeah, maybe he would have given him more time if it would have been more than one person. But
yeah, all he gave him was probation.
But you know what? His mother gonna have that guilt in his mind for the rest of her life. You know, I did my part. I did what I had to do for my son. And what every parent should do is something like that happen. Don't keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
Trust
like
me,
he was a little bit scared.
I was terrified because I was little. And there's a lot of kids that they told me that they, get molested and this by their stepfather and this. And I tell them, I'm like, you have to, because what if he does it to another child?
And the funny part was that I had dreams about it, and I asked them years before they even find out, and he said no. But then finally,
I remember that day when
he told me the truth.
I remember I was laying down on the couch. That's when we lived in Weeks.
You was laying down on the couch.
I was laying down sleeping, and she wakes me up and she goes, I need to ask you this. Did he ever do this to you? And I just, yeah. And that's when I forgot. I remember you just picked up the phone and you just started calling. And just, that's when the whole, it just...
Yeah. But a lot of people wanted to hurt that guy because a lot of people love my son.
And you know what's that? He only got probation. But...
They gave him that law that he's gonna as a sex offender. And they just gave him 10 years of parole.
Yeah. Oh, and look, this question someone just asked is, how were you able to cope with, remember what he did to me? And as a mother's point of view, how were you able to handle it? Like, how was the stress on you about what Chris did to me? How they made you feel that, that I had to go to court and...
No, first of all, the court thing, it was going to be so hard going to... Because he first said he did it, then he didn't, then he did. He didn't have his story straight. And me, if it wasn't a God up there, I think I would have killed him. But, but it's hard because you think... what's the funny part? That I always used to think, when I have a daughter, I don't want nothing to happen to her. Because, you always think they will do it just to the girls. But I would have never thought they will happen to a boy, to my son. Never went through my mind. Never. And when I found out, it was like, shit.
It's tough.
It's like you think that you didn't did what you had to do. That's why you're supposed to protect your kids.
But sometimes it's not the parents' fault. Like, sometimes the kids feel as though it's their fault. But then the parents feel like it's their fault.
Sometimes the parents don't want to see it because every time he used to go to Philly, he used to come back crying, mostly all the time. And he used to come more angry than how he, And then sometimes he didn't want it to go. And I used to go, but go with your mother. He used to call her mama. His grandmother. Go with mama and go with your father, spend time with them. And sometimes but I didn't know what was going on. But it was some time that he didn't want it to go. And I used to be like, go so you can spend time with your grandma. And that I didn't saw, it was right in my eyes, and I didn't know what was going on. He didn't want it to go.
Yeah. I miss
But
him.
that's why parents always gotta be
on top of
their kids and watching everything. You see the other two, I always be asking them all type of freaking
Jacob
questions
and Jerry
about the teachers, about this, about that. Any little thing that I see them strange. Why you don't want to go to school? Somebody's bothering you. What's going on? You gotta
like Jacob.
Be on top of the kids, always.
Like Jacob, we went to the school, and remember he was being bullied, and I just remember he started crying, and we were telling him, tell us who it is. People don't understand that when you get bullied, bullying leads to things. You know how many times she came with me that I overdosed, I cut myself, I done all of that. And what's that? To even my little brother saw me when I was that time that I cut this up and
just open and
I just
right in front of them. Yeah.
I cut and they were crying and Trust me. Oh, God. And there's people that they do that and they succeed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's for the stupidest reasons. And then there's people who just, they, like me, I failed. Thank God I failed.
Because it wasn't his time.
It wasn't. And trust me. And I remember I tried stabbing myself with the same knife I cut myself. I kept trying to stab myself in the stomach.
One time I find a needle. I find a knife under the bed and under his pillow. Before I even find out that it had happened. You know, little things like that you always gotta like
be aware of.
Why? You know, if you see something strange, parents come from work and they don't even ask the kids how they was doing in school.
They make them feel
how it was the day. Somebody's messing with you, you know, because it happen all the time. You know, the kids think they're bullying somebody else. It makes them feel better, you know, just because they feel bad about themselves. That's why they do that to other kids.
And that's what sucks. I'm trying to see what else. Does she get mad when people stare or talk behind your back when you're together?
Yep. I still do get mad, and I just give them this only fucking
She gives them this look.
They just they just be like,
Yo, I be laughing because I be in my own.
Sometimes I be like, wow, what the fuck you looking at? What, you haven't seen a guy? You haven't seen a guy person before? You know what's going on?
And then sometimes they'll be like, no, I know.
Like, stop. They was gonna ask me, you know. But in the beginning, it was worse than now. Now I'm more calm, especially when they look at him and stuff. And then other people come and they be like, can I take a picture with you? And then the other people be like.
Yeah, like it was this one time there was like these group of people. There was these those guys that were standing in front of H&M, and then there was this group of girls. They were like, oh my God, and they all started taking pictures, and she just looked at the guys like, yeah, it's my son.
Yeah, because you know you're not supposed to judge. You don't know. Matter of fact, you don't know half of what he been through, so you can judge him. Okay.
Yeah, but people you
gotta be in his shoes so you can know. Okay. Because it's not easy.
And people, they judge you for nothing.
Because not a lot of people go through that. And I know a lot of people that went through that and they're not here right now. Because they got into drugs, they got into doing a whole bunch of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And they're not here right now.
Yeah, a lot of my old family members, a lot of people from Philly, they committed suicide. And they all been through stuff that I've been through, and they took their own life. They succeeded, and it's sad, you know.
They left their kids.
They left their kids and everything. But there's some people who they're not strong enough. They let it get to them. And sometimes, you know, I always say,
It's some days that you feel sad, and you know, if you feel like crying, just cry, because it's gonna make you feel much better.
Trust me, crying
much better is gonna make you feel crying.
And sometimes, me personally, I always say this to people. When you want to cut yourself or take pills, just imagine, do you have a little brother or a little sister? How is it going to make them feel knowing that they're going to grow up without an older brother or older sister? Or when they get older and they ask the mom, how did you die? And they say because they committed suicide for this reason. You know, they're going to probably feel like, you were supposed to be like their big brother. Like me to my little brothers, I'm their big brother. So I'm supposed to be there for them. I'm supposed to, you know, want to play games and want to go out. They're not going to have that. So you need to think twice before trying to hurt yourself just because of what other people are doing to you. And I understand it is stressful. There's times that you just want to stop breathing. You just want to die because of what people are putting you through. And it sucks. I'm not going to say be strong because and that state of mind, you're not strong. You're not at all. But what I would say is try to be strong. You can at least try. Let's see. I'm trying to think of other questions. What family member did you tell first when you found out I was gay? Because you know that's Boricuas. We won't chicha.
The first person. It was Mama.
Mama? Oh my God. But she already knew, right? Yeah, she knew.
She kind of knew when she told me about that she was suspecting something. Yeah. And then my mother.
Yeah. God, I feel like I'm starting to get a headache.
And it's like you think it's a dream, and you be like, want to pinch yourself. Like, no, how's it gonna? Cause you hear the stories, you see the TV, and you be like, but when it happened to you, to your family.
Yeah, like kids, there's always getting beat up, jump. Like I told her, no matter what, there's always gonna be people who are gonna try to harm you. There's always gonna be people that are just they're gonna want to hurt you. Especially when I went to Philly, she was scared of me going to Philly because she knows there's a lot of people that just want to harm me, and that's just how the world is. There's sick people out there, and you need to be careful. You really need to be. Let's see.
Remember that day when that old guy was following you? And I was like, what the hell?
It was this guy that he was following me. And, like, well, first we were coming out the thrift store. And I heard some guy saying, like, Papi, I like your hair. He said that in Spanish, though. Mm-hmm. And then I just ignored it. So then when I went to the house, he, like, pulled up in front of the house and got out the car. And my mom was already in the house. Yeah, he went to our gate. We lived in front of this big black gate.
There's a lot of crazy people out there.
And
I be telling him.
I ran up the stairs and I was like, Mommy. Mind you, I'm 20. I was like, Mommy, there's a guy, he's following me. And she just looked at the fuck is your problem? And she just wanted to go downstairs and and I just felt like a kid again. I was like, you know how good it feels to go to your mom and be like, they're bothering me. And for them to just curse them out.
Yeah.
It's people that...
A lot of parents think about what people are going to say.
And family members.
And I say it like that. Fuck what they're going to say, okay? Because that's your son. First your son, second your son, and third your son, okay?
And people don't think like that. And we know, these people, you know who I'm talking about. They freaking... And there's people who don't think like that. They, they see you as, oh, he's been here. Oh, God, he's this... they actually care.
Yeah, but they gotta go with what you going through, what we going through it, so then they can
to see
say something and they can see how hard it is.
But people don't think like that. You know how it is nowadays. A lot of people think they're better than each other, and I don't know. That's why I always tell people, like, like everyone thinks she's like mean because we always have like that bitch face on. Well, it's called the resting face. We always. But it's because she taught me that. So always walk around like with that face. Don't fuck with me. And we're so sweet and kind, but we always have that face because you don't know who you're gonna come across. And if they see you with that face, they don't try to mess with you. And I always have to have that face on. Let's see. Did you expect? I'm trying to read some of these. Was it hard raising me?
If it was hard raising you.
After having to deal with, because we went to court more than once for the guy in 42nd Street. And
it's hard. It was hard raising him. Since he was a little boy, he tried to freaking escape.
Oh, yeah. I remember this, though. I remember I got on a skateboard. I was on my stomach, and I rode it. I was in Philly, and I was trying to escape. And you found me.
When they went in the house, those guys.
Oh yeah, that we got robbed before.
We got robbed, and he was in the. He was like 2 years old.
And I remember this. And she tells me the story.
Kicked the door and went in the house with guns and masks. And the first thing that went through my mind was like, what the hell his father did. That's the first thing that I thought, because he always used to be in the street.
My dad.
But it wasn't him. They was looking for the people upstairs, and they went in the house.
And they found the wrong people.
And Jose was just walking around the house like nothing was going on.
And then you say I was playing
I was playing
the video games with one of the robbers.
That was the Super Nintendo.
You know what's that?
And he was just, and as soon as those guys left, then they put the tape in my eyes or whatever happened. That was one of my worst days. And Jose just went outside after the guys. Like, they left and he went try to escape. And I'm with tape, trying to take up the tape off of me and everything. Talking about Bebo. But he tried to escape more than once. He was just a funny kid.
I was horrible.
But it's hard because you see your son growing up so small. And you don't be like, never went through my mind and said, my son is going to be gay.
You don't ever think that. You can't prepare yourself for it.
You know, but I always said if it ever happened, because I know about other cases of my friends, that if it will happen to me, I will always have my son's back. And it happened to me. You know, and I'm not saying it's hard, because today if I said I'm 100%, no. It's hard. It's hard.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
it's hard for him, and it's hard for me.
Like,
and
no
his
parent
brothers in the beginning, they was like on denial. No, he's not gay.
And what else?
They always used to say that, but now, you know, thank God, they love his brother. They love his brother.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't treat him any different. No.
Jerry is like my little bodyguard, the little gordito. What?
If he puts something on and I be like, Jose, what you gonna? Jeremiah comes talking about, oh, let him put what he wants to put on. That's his style. That's what people like. Blah, 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 blah.
He puts that on. You know, people want to take pictures with him. Let him, mommy. Come on. I'll be like, he's doing Jerry's 11 or 12. 12. You know what's that? Jerry hates, my little brother is 12.
He hates when people look at his brother.
And not even me.
Stuff.
He hates people who judge. Because one time we was on YouTube, and I remember when the We Can't Stop video from Miley Cyrus came out, he made a YouTube account to curse out people who were judging her, because he felt as though people shouldn't judge her because they don't know her. And he was getting mad at people who were calling Miley a slut, when he said that she's a good person. Just because she changed her look, she's still a good person. Mm-hmm. And I just thought that was the sweetest thing. A 12-year-old has more sense of this society than these people. And that's how, but a lot of people don't think like that. You know, they think it's cool to call people gay and stupid and ugly and bring others down, because that's the way how people are brought up in this society. It shouldn't be like that, but that's the way it is. And now, wait, I was gonna ask you, like, when you first found out I was gay, and I think I told him this before, but I want you to say it.
When the first day I found out.
Like, when you first found out, it didn't take you, like, you know how parents, oh, I got used to it. Didn't you say even for you to accept it a little, it took you a few years?
Yeah.
See? It takes them a few years. You say it.
But I used to never think what people was gonna say, you know?
It was more, I guess, like, will you fear your child is gonna go through?
Yeah, it's just the fear about how people, you know.
Because it's, you know, it's different.
Until today, when he go to the clubs and he go out, I'm always scared. Yeah. Okay, because there's a lot of sick people out there.
And there's plenty of times that I called her and I'm like, Mom, there's
someone that every time he called me in the nighttime, as soon as I hear that it says Jose, my heart start doing real quick like that, because it happens so many times, so many bad things to him. Then when he called me like that, like in the nighttime or something, or he don't call me because he forgot for some reason, I'm going crazy calling everybody.
She's done that before. She's called Xavier and have you spoken to Jose? And I remember one time
you called me and I thought you was crying. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh my God. It was this one time I called her and the service was cutting off. But, because I was in Queens, I remember. But through the call, she heard, Mom, but she thought I was crying, but it wasn't. It was the service cutting off. So she was like, oh my God, where are you? So I called her the next day, and when I finally called her and I was outside, she was like, oh my God, are you okay? I'm like, yeah. And she thought I was crying. Or what else? I'm trying to remember another time that that time that, you know, this was when I had Facebook before everything. I had Facebook before. I don't have it no more. And she calls me and she goes, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. She goes, because you haven't posted anything on Facebook all day.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, what? And she was like, you haven't posted a photo or anything. Are you okay? Like, and I was like, oh my God. And I remember it was because I was watching the Walking Dead.
Yeah.
So
Jesus.
I was so into the show. Was it hard for you to deal? No, wait. How did the connection between the two of us grow? It was hard.
In the beginning, when I find out about the letter, that I saw that letter, and like we was talking about it today. Matter of fact,
Oh yeah, when we was eating.
And
it was hard.
When I kept on reading the letter over and over and over, and it's like I was like, I didn't even know what to think. And
we used to always bump heads in the beginning because it was like,
when he told me yes, okay, he told me okay, I started crying.
Oh yeah.
You know, I said I would love him no matter what.
Yeah, I remember. She was crying and she hugged me. She goes, "No matter what, I'm gonna love you." And it's just, you're a child. You're like, you don't know.
But then I don't know what happened. The things started getting worse. He got more angry. I think he got more angry because I find out. I don't even know what happened.
And I was telling her today, it was mainly because like, after you found out,
you started going out, you didn't listen, you wanted to go and be hanging out with this girl, and I was always worried about you.
And I'm trying, because I remember when you found out, and after you found out, not that long later, we found out about what Chris did. Mm-hmm. And that's when, as soon as my grandma found out what happened to me, she got cancer. And it was like, it puts this thing in your head like,
everything happened at the same time.
Yeah, it was like, and I was young, and you know, I just started drinking, and I wanted to smoke and do drugs.
Leave in the nighttime when I was sleeping.
I just
hanging out with the wrong people.
And it sucks, you know, people.
It's like he didn't want it to
feel. You didn't want to feel that pain, and I didn't want to feel like, you know, and what hurt it the most.
I wasn't gonna accept him, you know, because it happened to her. It's a lot of parents that don't know right now because they afraid.
And I'm trying. I remember after, like, you know, we found out with Mama and everything, and I think what made it me go into like a downward spiral, just down.
And we used to be going at it all the time.
Always. But you know, there's times that we go at it, and to this day, it's like we don't go at it no more. No, but it hurts when you think about it.
When we think about the past, and
it sucks.
I know he regret everything
and that's why now I get to spoil her, and I get to
buy me stuff and always.
I mean, you want that now? You want that?
You sure you want to get it now, or you're not gonna get it? You know.
And it sucks that, you know, we had to go through that, but then again, at least it made, you know, the bond a little stronger. But I
think it's the age, because I went through the same thing with my mother.
And you left your house when you was 14. Puerto Rico.
Thinking it was gonna be better.
She left the house at 14 when she was from Puerto Rico to Philly, and that's what used to get me mad, because I even used to tell the counselor that when I went to when she sent me to the crazy house, I used to always tell him that I'm like, I'm not crazy. My mom just thinks I'm gonna.
He used to be lying. I used to be hearing him in the background. No, he's lying.
And oh my God. I used to get, cause you know, she left the house when she was 14. So I used to be like, she just thinks I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm not gonna do it. She thinks I'm gonna run away. I'm not. I used to get so mad. And I remember I used to hang out with my one cousin, Guidi, and I used to try to impress him. So I would say certain things. I remember this one time I was on the phone with him, and I said something that you heard because you was on the other phone.
Oh my!
But it was bad what I said.
You don't even wanna know.
I started crying, and
I kicked that door down, and oh my
I was God. So. But then it just got me like,
a little lie can get you in a lot of trouble.
A little. Oh God, and my mascara is.
Because I picked up the other phone in the other line.
You know how parents. She picked up the other line, and
just.
And you know, but it was so to this day, it was a lie.
That was one of the worst days that we had to, because he went crazy.
That was the day that this all happened. I lost it, because that was when after Mama passed away, and I remember I started swearing. That was the first time I ever sweared on her, and I was like, I swear on Mama's life, I swear I was lying. And she didn't believe me, and she was like, get out of my face, I don't want to ever see you. And when she said that,
he thought that I was like, him.
I was like, all right. I did this, and I sat there, and I just started bleeding, and then she kicked down the door, and they called 911, and it was horrible.
It was bad.
God.
Brothers.
And when I used to go to the mental, they used to, and then they would look at me as if I was crazy because I would sit there on my phone, and I would just act like I'm normal. Why are you here? She don't love me. I used to always say, she don't love me. She don't love, and I always had this innocent face like.
And they used to believe him.
She doesn't love me. She wants to give me away to foster care, and they believed me. And
oh my God! And when they caught what is it? The ACS on us. Oh, because he wasn't going to school. I wanted to hurt him.
So and then they asked Jacob,
and he got more angry because he was like, "Oh, that you worry about the kids and not me."
And then remember when they asked Jacob and Jerry, "Oh, what do you like about what do you and Bevel do?" And okay, no, they're calling me. Bye, I'm doing a video. I remember they asked me, Jerry or Jacob. No, they asked Jerry. "Oh, what do you and your brother play?" And he said, "Remember, because Jerry is chunky. I love biting him. He was my little biting. Yo, I saw." What? Oh, Tito's calling you? Mm-hmm. Oh. No, wait, don't call him yet. We can end the video. See, now she's going to be on the phone. She's always on the phone. This is what was so hard about getting her in the video. Because she's constantly on the phone. So it was kind of like a...
He had called me 2 times and I didn't have the phone.
Oh. I remember when we was in the ACS, my little brother Jerry, I used to love biting him. So she asked them, "Oh, what do your little brother do?" "Oh, he likes to bite me and he likes to hit me. He says I'm his punching bag." Oh my gosh. She looked at me like, interest. I was like, oh my, and I had to explain to her, no. Now she's on the phone.
I'll be right back.
Okay. But yeah, guys, this was so hard about getting her in the video because she's always on the phone. Let me see if I could probably answer a few questions for her. Let me see. I was asking her for questions, and they were like, most of them weren't even saying questions. Y'all was saying really sweet stuff to me. Well, thank you. Y'all was saying, "Oh, ask your mom how it feels to have a flawless son," or this and this, a famous son, and y'all was sweet for that. I was like, but then I'm thinking to myself, guys, I want questions. But thank you. But as you can see, it was hard for her to like deal with certain things. It was hard because it was like, oh my God. But I'm happy we pulled through, and yeah, thank God, things are good now. But oh, you got off the phone already?
Yeah.
Oh. Let me see if I could get probably like 2 more questions and that's it. Because the sunlight is going down. And I like using lighting from the sun and clearly it's leaving. Were you surprised when you found out I was gay?
No, I wasn't.
No. She said no, I wasn't. I remember
I kind of had this little feeling, you know?
She said that I used to do like a little walk or I used to dress a certain way. She'd be like, no, don't wear that. Go play basketball. Go. And I used to always be in the park. I
wanted always him to be like, oh.
Yeah, like, as soon as she found out, she wanted me to kind of like go to the park and do this and this and this. But it was because like she wanted me to do more boys.
He always used to be around girls, and it made me feel better, me seeing him always hanging out around girls, because I was like, okay.
But to this day, I always hang out with girls. Like, I like me. I don't like girls, but I just love. And remember, I used to always hang out with the girls.
Just a lot of parents don't want to accept it. They see it, but they just don't want to.
And remember when I used to open my room and I used to be in bed with like 5 girls, all the sleepovers, and she would think that I will, but no, it was just I love hanging out with pretty girls, and they were all pretty. They had bodies, and let's see. Did you support him from the start, or did it take you some time?
No, I supported you since the start.
Yeah, it was hard from the beginning. It's like I wanted her to tell y'all. It was true. Any parent, it's hard for them. No parent could just be like, oh, okay. No, it's, I just want y'all to get her perspective on it. Everyone else is different. Everyone has their own, religion, their own, that, you know, because my grandma, she was, you know, mama, she was very religious, very, and she would tell me, you know, in the beginning, she would tell me, you know, you're gonna burn in hell, you know, but it was like that was the religion of her talking, because when it wasn't about religion, it was I love you, Bevel, you know, she loved me, but she will always, you know, it was like the religion always made her say certain things, but oh my god, why are you where? I used to watch a scary movie, I think it was 1 or 2, and she'll be like, why are you watching that? That's the devil's movie. I'm like, Mama, it's a funny movie and I love it. She used to hate when me and Elijah used to watch it. Let's see. Oh, oh look, this is Mama's chain actually. When I went to Philly, my aunt gave it to me, and I've been wearing it like a lot, so I don't care. So what else? Let's see. I have a 3-year-old, and I love him no matter what, and I will accept who he will become one day. But as a mom, did you ever just wish he wasn't gay? If you had a choice to change it, would you?
Yes. I'm not gonna lie. I'm being honest.
I guess it'll make life easier.
Yeah, but you just don't want your son to go through all that stuff. You know, it's hard. That's why a lot of people don't want to come out of the closet. But then people that get married, and it's worse when you get married, have kids, knowing that you are gay. Why are you even doing that? You know why?
We know people who they have kids and they.
Why are you gonna do that? You know.
But then remember, even
now, if you're gay and you with your partner and if y'all wanna adopt kids, that's a different story. You know, but don't bring a family to this world.
Knowing you don't even
knowing that you don't do that. You know, but
if
I could change it, yeah. If I could change in the beginning what happened to him, I would change it.
But remember, there's even straight people that they go through that. I know people who they're straight and they've been through that. But it sucks. But
I love him so.
Let's see what else. One more question. I'm trying to think. I don't even know. There's so many questions. Did you ever pray for me?
Yes, I pray for him all the time.
Someone said, how did my dad react?
When he goes outside all the time, you know, it's danger everywhere.
I'm trying to think. Facts, he knew, right?
He act like
he doesn't even.
He didn't even. When I told him, he was like, "You sure?" That he was confused, you know. But you know, he's in his own little world.
Yeah, my dad is.
He always try to black things, you know that.
And when Mama passed away, he didn't go to the funeral, and he never was anywhere. So
I've been his mother and his father.
Do you feel like she failed you? I hope not. Just asking because my mom felt that way. A lot of parents,
of course you feel that way. You know, I think that's what really hurts more.
Because you feel like a failure. And then I guess this last question. Someone asks, why was you crying when you found out?
When I find out what?
That when you read the letter, why was you crying?
Why I was crying because I didn't want that to be true. It was like you think that why? You know, why? It's just why?
I feel like there's no right answer for it. It's just you just don't even.
You just don't want that. You like. Is that you know this world's so cruel? You know that they're gonna go against him and they're gonna treat him bad and they're gonna point at him. So you don't want that. You don't want that. You don't want your son to suffer. You know.
I hope that answered a couple of you guys' questions. You get to see my mommy. Finally, she was in a video. Ugh, after months of trying to get you in a video.
No, it would not be the last one.
Yeah, I could put her in more. But, alright guys, this is the lighting. I look pink and you look kind of pink. I hate this. But the sunset looks so pretty from here.
Yeah.
But, alright guys, I love you all.
Okay.
Like, comment, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this. Finally, I know y'all been really, when I was in Philly, they were emailing me, when are you gonna upload a video? Why are you not uploading? Why? And I haven't uploaded a video, I think, in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, because I've been wanting to do this video.
Just that I've always been so busy.
Yeah, and especially the work.
But he got me today. As soon as I was all day out, and then we went to the mall, and then he was like, "Don't tell me that you're gonna do this. No, you're gonna eat." He was like, "I give you 20 minutes. Get ready."
Yeah, so, alright then, guys. I love you all. I hope you enjoyed the video.
Okay,
bye.
Bye.